Hey, everybody. Here's a quick word about our sponsors. First one being LASRApp. You can find them at www.lasrapp.com. They're a laser activated shot reporter. They're amazing what it can do, all of the things that you can do with it, multiple guns, multiple locations, any type of target. They have a smorgasbord of items on their website store. Check them out. Use the affiliate link below or on our website, casualshooterpodcast.com, and use the code CSP 2021 for up to 15% off items not covered by the affiliate link. Next up, we have Gun Butter. I am one of those people that I clean my gun all the time because I feel like you've always got to clean the crud and put a fresh coat of lubrication on it. That's because of the stuff we had to use in the military. I didn't like it, but I have finally landed on something I can get behind, and that is gun butter. I did not shoot. I'm. I did not clean my gun at all at nationals. I did not clean it after the match before nationals, nor the match before that. And there's still gun butter oil on my gun. And I'm going to be using their grease on the lugs of my bolt gun. Next, we have HOIST. It is IV level hydration. It's clinically proven to absorb 110% faster than water. You've got all the right ingredients of your electrolytes that you need: magnesium, calcium, sodium, potassium. It's all in there. A little bit of sugar, but that mixes the right amount to make it absorb rapidly so it's not sitting in your belly and weighing you down. So check it out. Get hydrated, stay hydrated. And thanks for checking out our sponsors. It helps with the podcast. Welcome to this week's edition of the Casual Shooters Podcast, your premier podcast for the casual shooter. Now, this week's guest is a USPSA practical shooter and a two-gunner. At this year's PCC National, she ended up 30th overall, high junior, third ladies, and third A-class overall. Did I mention she's just a teenager? I've had a bunch of juniors on here. Don't look now, but here comes another one. And don't say I didn't warn you. With that, give me a warm round of applause for Ashlyn Champagne. How you doing, Ashlyn?
Good. How are you?
Good. Why don't you take just a second and introduce yourself?
I'm Ashlyn Champagne. My Instagram and YouTube is Shooting Blondie. Been shooting for about 3 years. 3 years in March. So, getting to that point.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna pause you there then, and we're gonna delve into those 3 years then. Okay. Yeah. All right. But before we go there, we got to start with the usual icebreakers. Probably the hardest questions you're gonna have for the podcast. Question number 1: what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is either Superbad or John Wick.
Now, those are like extreme opposite movies.
They are completely.
Okay, so why Superbad?
Superbad, it's just really funny, and I just love the embarrassment,
Okay. All right, and why John Wick?
John Wick, it gets the adrenaline rush from me. Gets me motivated to do better.
Okay. Does it make you want to go shoot faster?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Now, we found a lot of people don't read books. So the next question is, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book is It Ends With Us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, what's that about?
It's a romantic book, so.
Okay. Now, if you're into superheroes, who's your favorite superhero?
I'm not into superheroes.
Okay, then who's your favorite historical figure?
Not really big on history.
All right. Do you have a mentor?
Probably my dad.
All right, good answer.
Yep.
All right, I like it. All right, maybe this one will be a little bit easier for you. Your favorite gun and your favorite caliber, but they don't have to marry up, meaning just because your favorite gun might be a shotgun doesn't mean you have to your favorite caliber has to be 12 gauge.
Yeah. Um, Probably my CZ. I love my CZ, and then 9 because 9 is like the only thing I shoot with.
I can see that you shoot your PCC, which is 9, your CZ is 9,
Yeah.
but you shot a lot of other stuff it looks like too. So
Yeah, occasionally, I just try this and this. Yeah.
I'm going to be asking you questions about that. At what age did you first shoot a gun?
13, almost 14. Yeah.
Okay. Was that in the backyard? Was that at a range? How did that happen?
It was at an indoor range.
How, okay. How did, whose idea was it to go and shoot?
It was my dad's idea. Yeah. He
And what did,
he wanted a reason to go to the range all the time, so he just
okay.
brought me along.
Did you enjoy your first time shooting a gun?
I did. It was a lot of fun.
And what was it?
Um, I think it was a little Ruger 22.
Like 22 rifle or pistol? What?
Pistol. It was a little 22 pistol. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it was a little 22 pistol.
How long did it take you to progress to something else from there?
Um, well, I think a couple months, maybe 4 or 5 months, and then I decided to switch over to 9, my CZ. Yeah.
Now, let's work backwards. So, how old were you at PCC Nationals?
PCC Nationals. Well, this year was my first PCC Nationals, so 16.
Now, so you were 16 when you competed there. You were, we'll just say 14
Mhm.
is when you first shot a gun.
Yep.
So, at what point did you how did you get into competition?
So I got into competition because of the guys that worked at the indoor range. They were really interested in how well I was shooting, so they all wanted to start doing competitions, and they just decided to tag me along, at a little steel challenge that was close by. Yeah.
Okay, so it was Steel Challenge was the first thing you shot.
Yes.
Were you still shooting the 22 pistol?
Yes.
So how long did you shoot Steel Challenge before you moved on to something else?
I think I shot Steel Challenge for 2 months, maybe 2 months. Yep.
So when you say you shot it for 2 months, was that like one match a month or
It
did you
was,
shoot it?
yeah, it was one match a month. Yeah.
Okay, so you shot it twice basically.
Mhm.
And then you switched over to what?
And then after that, I switched over to, started doing 2 guns. So I switched over to my CZ and then got a rifle. Yep.
All right, we'll start with the CZ first.
Mhm.
How much of a drastic change was it for you from going from shooting 22 to 9mm?
It was a big change. One, I didn't have the grip strength to rack the slide. And then I have little hands, so it was
Okay.
hard for me to wrap my hands around it and get a good
Okay.
grip on it.
Now the CZ steel gun,
CZ75 SBO1 Aki Shadow,
is it a polymer gun or an all steel gun?
polymer.
Are your hands have your hands gotten any bigger to make it any easier to wrap around?
I think they've gotten bigger. They do
Okay.
look bigger, so
Is the gun fitting your hand better?
yes.
Okay. Have you tried any other guns or is that the only gun you've tried?
No, that's my baby, Not really any other
Okay.
guns.
You're not going to cheat on that gun by holding any other gun, I guess. Oh, okay. So what was the first rifle then? You said you got a CZ, you were shooting the CZ and you got a rifle. What was the rifle?
It was a Seekins, Seekins NX50, yeah, 5.56.
For the two gun, you're shooting 5.56 and 9. All right. Now, how have you been shooting that ever since? So for 2 years.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. How do you like that?
It's a good rifle. It's very reliable, and I mean, I trust it completely. You know, I can do anything with it and everything with it, so it's always been by my side.
How far out have you engaged targets with it?
Um, Probably 615.
And that's where you live, or is that somewhere else?
That's up in Holt.
And the reason I'm asking is you had posted a picture on your Instagram
Mhm.
of a match, but it looked like the match was in Florida.
Yes.
For some reason, I was thinking you were from the southwest of the country, but you're not.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that fixes that then.
Okay.
All right. So all of your shooting then, other than PCC Nationals, has been Florida?
Florida, yes.
What made you get into, and how long ago did you get into PCC?
PCC, I think a year into shooting, we decided to get a PCC, and I think it was for PCC pistol two gun nats, the first one. Yeah. And just to have fun with it at other USPSA matches, to shoot two guns with it. And then I think a couple of the guys that worked at the indoor range were getting them too, so they kind of like influenced my dad to get one.
Oh, okay. So do you and your dad share the gun then?
No, he doesn't really shoot anymore.
He doesn't.
No.
Okay. Well, all right. I guess that's another conversation altogether, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it looks like, I guess about 15. You got about a year later, you got a PCC.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, did you shoot two gun nationals at the age of 15?
I think I was 15 when I shot the first two gun nationals. Yep.
Okay. Now, how did you like shooting two gun nationals?
The first one, it was my first nationals, and I was already really nervous about it. And then I felt nervous but confident in it. And then my dad got these big cardboard printouts of the stages for me to like kind of stage plan and look at everything, so I can already have the stage plan. So when I get there, nothing's like a big surprise. Well, I get there, and it was still a big surprise for me, my first two gun, first nationals. And everything was like really big, and the place was just, Talladega was really nice. So I kind of felt like a little intimidated, something new, you know, and something big.
How far ahead of time did you get there to be able to walk stages and do all of that?
I think we got there a day earlier than the match just to walk the stages. So we were there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Did you drive?
No.
I guess you're too far away then to drive to Talladega from where you are in Florida.
Yeah.
Right on the edge. Okay.
Like, yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So were you happy with how you finished that first two gun nationals?
Um, Originally I wasn't happy with how I finished, but now I see like I have to be happy with how I finished.
Why do you say that?
Well, I'm typically never happy with the way I finish in matches.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you're not an angry shooter, I take it.
No, I try to not think about it, and then in the end, I'll look at all of everything. You know, I have a little book now to write down, you know, each stage, like something good and then something bad, and then how I felt about it, and then like it's on there, so then I can go to the next stage and not think about it.
All right, so that brings up a couple of questions.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the second one first because I think it'll be easier. Then we'll go back to the other one.
Okay.
The little book, your journal.
Yeah.
It sounds almost like the Steve Anderson mental management type thing. Do you ever listen to Steve Anderson?
No.
You should. You could probably benefit, especially with your journal.
Mhm.
because he specifically talks about that type of stuff
Yeah.
and how, what you should be writing, how you should be writing, that type of thing. So, but what do you, if you could be a little bit more specific, how do you use it?
How do I use it? Well, after I finish the stage, approve everything, and then the first thing I do is I put everything away, grab my book, walk away a little bit, but so I can still see the stage, and then go through the stage and how I ran it and how I felt with it, and then I'll write that down, and then I'll write down something I felt was good, and then something I felt was bad, and then something to work on for training, and then something to work on for dry fire.
Okay. So, do you use the words good and bad?
I don't use the words good or bad. Um, I just like one line is like something good, one line is something bad, so that I know and only I know.
Okay. Um, you then said you would write something down for training and another one down for dry fire.
Yes.
Now, do you mean, so by training, I take it you mean live fire training?
Yes.
Okay. So you differentiate the two in your journal.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have someone who works with you, who trains with you when you're not shooting a match?
Um, Brennan Souter from RPGI is my trainer.
Okay. Does he look at your journal or do you guys talk about the journal?
We talk about the journal, but it's my journal specifically, so I'm the only person that can look at it.
All right,
Very.
it just changed from a journal to a diary.
Yeah. It's only mine. No one else can look at it.
Okay. But do you share the information you get with it then with Brian?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. It'd be kind of hard to help train you if you didn't share that
Yeah, I share
information.
the information, but he cannot look at it.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and the reason I'm asking about the verbiage is so Steve Anderson, I don't know if you've heard of him. He has a podcast called That Shooting Show, but he also teaches mental management
Mhm.
through Lanny Basham. And Lanny Basham created a whole program where you use a journal and exactly very similar to what you're doing. You go through and you journal everything. Doesn't matter what the match is after each stage, but it's all about making sure you're using correct verbiage
Mhm.
so you improve your self image. So if you just, even if you just listen to a couple of episodes of his dealing with mental management, you might actually be able to refine how you use your journal and make it even better for yourself.
Yeah.
You went to your first nats at the age of 15.
Mhm.
You went back this year.
Yes, I went back to two gun nets.
Okay, so that was your second one. How did you feel going into that one compared to the one a year earlier?
Well, this two gun nets, I felt really good about it. I felt really strong. I felt really confident and strong that I can do really good, and I felt that I had the capability, to do better than what I did. I had done like a lot of training, excuse me, and I just felt that my mind was better and I got stronger myself, and that I could just do completely better than what I did.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, physically you're still growing. You have
Mhm.
more growing to go. So I guess the older you get, then the stronger you're going to get, the faster you're
Mhm.
going to get. So I get all that. Now, this is the second question that I had earlier, and that is your training. How did your training change going from your first two gun nats to your second two gun nats?
So during the first two gun nats, I was still in public school. This year, during the summer, we had changed ideas to go to homeschool, and then during the summer, I also had more opportunity to go out and go train. So last year, didn't really have an opportunity to do a lot of training and to get out as much. And this year, consistently training all the time, and then being able to go and have the freedom and opportunity to go out more.
So we're going to jump ahead real quick and then come back to the training, to the national champion questionnaire. All right. How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay. So you're probably taller than, well, you're definitely taller than the Williams sisters. You're getting more along the lines of Morgan Leonhardt and them.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. You already said you're homeschooled now.
Yes.
So you said it gives you more opportunity to train. Do you live on a farm or do you have access to a range anytime you want?
I have access to the range with Brendan. He owns his own range, so we'll like meet up at a place, and he'll come pick me up and take me to the range, and we'll train.
And you said Brennan.
Yes.
Okay, I heard Brian earlier, so my
Oh.
my fault. My fault, Brennan. Get that corrected for the record. Okay. All right. So, I mean, you have all of the necessary tools.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. So let's go back to training again. Did the way you trained change in between those two nationals?
Yes. The way I trained before, it was still trying to figure the basics and trying to fix big things. And now it's more or less run this stage and fixing little things here and there to make it better.
Who reviews the video from your matches?
I review videos all the time. Brendan will look at some videos, and my dad holds all of them, so he reviews them a lot.
Okay. So does your dad help with your training then?
No.
Okay, so just Brennan?
Yes.
Okay. Because a lot of people will, this is what I'm asking, a lot of people will take the video that they have captured at a match, go back when they get home, they actually review it to see how they were getting into positions, did they have errors and stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out is who does that for you? Is that you or is that Brennan or is that both of you?
Both of us, I'd say. When I go to competitions, I can kind of feel it myself. So I'll tend to correct myself for the next stage.
What is something that you would notice or have noticed in the past that you correct before the next stage?
Feet positioning, breaking down my rifle when I shouldn't, swinging the rifle on targets I shouldn't swing at, moving my hips incorrectly, looking at the wrong target.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now let's back up a minute. You said moving your hips incorrectly. What do you mean by that?
Like if I'm shooting an array of targets over here and I'm already moving my hips when I shouldn't be, to me, that's incorrect.
So when are you picking up on that mistake? While you're shooting? Do you notice that? Really?
I do. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So you're very in tune with yourself when you're shooting.
I try to be, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you know who Keita Bussey is?
Yes.
Okay. So have you read her book or listened to her podcast or anything?
I have not, but I have taken a class from her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where that's coming from. Okay. All right, that makes a lot of sense. Have you taken classes from anybody else?
Frank Garcia, and I think that's it. I think Frank Garcia and Kita is
And
about
Kita?
it. Yeah.
Okay. Morgan Leonhardt gives her a lot of credit for getting her where she is. So,
Yeah.
very good person to take a
Mhm.
class from. Do you ever talk? Have you ever talked to her since the class? And then,
No, I haven't been in contact with her at all.
no. So your training then I take it from 14 until your first two gun nationals was just all the basic stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Was that primarily pistol or did you split it evenly between the two guns? How did you do that?
It was primarily pistol. My first trainer, he was big on two gun, so that's where all the two gun comes from. And he was teaching me the basics, how to run a pistol, and then how to run a rifle, and then how to run them together. So that's what the year was for, just trying to put the two together.
Do you plan on continuing in two gun?
Um, yes, yes. As long I'd prefer to shoot a USPSA match than to shoot a two gun match. So if there is a USPSA match, I will shoot the USPSA match before the two gun match.
Now, so next year, do you plan on shooting, I think they call it what, multi gun nationals, which is
Yes.
two gun basically?
Yeah. Um, I mean, we had planned on doing it this year, but we didn't do it. And then the way next year's looking like, we probably, hopefully, will do it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that one's up in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's quite the trip from Florida. Holy
Yeah.
cow. And we'll get back to the other stuff in just a moment, but since we're talking about it, so are you going to shoot PCC nationals next year?
Yes.
All right, so that one's a firm yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that one's back at CMP.
Yes.
All right. Now, so which one is your focus? PCC or multi-gun slash two gun?
PCC. Yeah, PCC is definitely my focus. This year we did half of the year for carry optics, but we didn't go to carry optics, and then the end of the year we did PCC.
Do you see it being different next year? Like, are you going to train in carry optics at all?
Yes, I'm actually making a switch come New Year's, making a switch to carry optics for carry optics hats.
And then you at the end of carry optics nats, are you switching back over to PCC?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you're going to be in Ohio in June, and then you're going to be at least at CMP in September.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, it works out better now that you're being homeschooled too. You don't have to worry
Yes.
about, school schedules.
Yes.
Who, if you don't mind, it's a little bit more personal, but who's homeschooling you?
Just it's kind of like a little online thing. It's just
Oh,
a
really?
little website. Yeah.
So it's all virtual?
It's all virtual. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Look, I'm learning a bunch here today.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's go back. What does your dry fire training look like?
I try to do it every day for at least an hour, and with PCC about 20 minutes, and then since I'm switching to carry optics, I've been doing carry optics more and more and more just to like switch it out. But about an hour. Try to do it every day as much as I can. Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing in training? Are you just doing basic stuff or are you trying to do work in movement and small arrays and stuff like that? What are you doing actually in dry fire?
In dry fire, I try to incorporate movement, and then also moving and reloading, and then
Hmm.
moving backwards on targets, and then dot focus.
Okay. Are you doing that at home or on the range?
At home.
Okay. So I guess you have a space big enough to do that type of stuff.
Yeah, the garage.
That's where I do all my dry fires, in the
Yeah,
garage. Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right. I even have a little swinger from Go Fast Don't Suck that I use.
Me too.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. See, we all do very similar stuff, so it's all
Yeah.
good. Now, I assume, again, from 14 to 15, that dry fire was, again, the basics, gun manipulation, that type of stuff, reloads, to get all that down.
Yeah, I didn't really do dry fire at 14.
Oh, when did you start dry firing?
Um, about 15. You know,
So you've been doing it maybe a year?
maybe. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to interject a question at this moment. Do you take an off season where
No,
you don't do anything?
no
No?
off season.
Okay. So even like during these holidays, you're still dry
Still
firing
going.
every day, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Now, I mean, well, I imagine it got a little chilly down there in Florida.
Oh, it definitely did.
But it's gotten colder everywhere else. So
Yeah.
you guys are still warm compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah. Still don't
Um,
like it.
what is how often are you doing live fire each week?
Um, consistently twice a week.
Sometimes more?
Sometimes more if the opportunity comes. Yes.
Well, you said consistently, so that kind of made me think, there might be
Yeah.
times where she does it 3 or 4 times a week. All right, Carry Optics, I just had it all up, is June 20, I lost it, 23rd to the 25th.
Yep.
So we're only 6 months away.
Yeah.
Now, as you get closer, is your training are you going to train more? Are you going to train on something different? How do you foresee your training going between now and then?
So as I switch, we will try to make the training more pistol focused. So the stages we make for training will be mainly pistol focused. So, and then we will probably look at matches in the past to try to set up for training so that we kind of have an idea of what might come.
How much of that training do you do strong hand weekend?
Strong hand weekend, not that often, really. Maybe once a month.
So you don't even do it in dry fire?
I mean, I do it in dry fire, but still not that often.
Okay. Do you think that's something you might add more of the closer you get?
That's definitely something I'll add more on to.
And the reason I say that is there was only one stage, I believe, this year that had strong hand weekend, but the year before at Carry Optics Nationals, there were several stages that were strong hand weekend.
Mm-hmm.
There was even one stage where you had to determine if you had to reload.
Mm-hmm.
So you had two positions.
Yeah.
And you moved into one box and shot all strong hand. You had to reload, but you had to move to another box and finish strong hand. That was one string. And then you shot another string. So that one you would just reload like normal,
Yeah.
going between the boxes. However, the second string was the same thing. You move to one box, shoot all weekend, go to the other box, shoot all weekend, but you had to reload in between. So people were like trying to figure out if they were going to reload with their right hand while holding the gun in their left hand. So there was a lot of stuff
Yeah.
you had to figure out.
Yeah.
So there was a lot more strong hand weekend. I could see where, since last year's was a little weak on stages with that, I could see where this year there would be more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's definitely different, when you're holding that weekend up there, or weekend only shooting. So You think you'll just keep doing the same amount of training with that?
Mm, um, like I said, it might be more and more consistent, but for all I know, with training, everything could be different or it could all be the same. But I'll probably add more into it.
Now, all right, so you said this was your first PCC nationals,
Yes.
okay? But you had already shoot two other nationals before that,
Hmm.
two gun nats.
Yeah.
So going into PCC nationals, how did you feel?
Going into PCC Nats, I felt really good about it because it's just the mindset I had was it's just like every other nationals. It's just like every other match, just longer, more stages, more of a test.
And was it?
It was definitely wearing me out a little bit because 3 days and then 4 days because of the walkthrough day, and it was just it was a lot, but I was ready. So
And PCC nats was in October.
yes,
So this year it's going to be a month earlier, so it's going to be hotter.
yes,
Now that's nothing new to you. Being
no,
from Florida, you're used to the heat, you're used to the
yep,
humidity, so no big
yep,
deal. But it's still, regardless, it's still going to take a little bit more of a toll. Like you're going to have to drink more fluid and all of that, obviously, because you're going to be out there running around,
yep,
sweating a lot more than normal.
yes.
So, what do you normally do, or what do you think you'll be doing over the course of 4 days again? This time a month earlier, so the temperature. Like I shot carry optics last year, and it was at that exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, the heat wasn't too bad. It was mid to upper 80s at the most.
Mm-hmm.
But you still, you're out there in the sun, so you're sweating.
Yeah.
Do you change like how much what your diet or what you drink when you're out there shooting over that many days?
No, actually, I thrive more in the heat. I do better in the heat. The hotter I get, the better I do, if that makes sense. Um, Before the match, I'll probably drink a lot more water and then eat a big meal. And then during the match, I typically don't eat or drink anything, just the way my body works with it. So
So you don't think the heat or the humidity at that point would bother you over 3 or 4 days?
mm, eventually it probably would catch on to me, but for the most part, I just throw away all the
Okay.
feeling and everything.
I'm thinking carry optics nationals won't be too bad in June in Ohio, but who knows?
Oh, who knows?
Now, did your so obviously if you're going to two gun nationals this year, and I meant 2022, you were already doing some PCC training before PCC nationals,
Yes.
but did you change any of your training in preparation for PCC nationals?
Um. So with two gun nats, it was both guns, and we didn't really
Hmm.
train for two gun nats. We were training specifically PCC, and that was
Okay.
it. So like 2 weeks before two gun nats, I think we started incorporating the pistol so that it was more of a two gun feeling, and then after that, it was straight back to PCC. Everything was PCC.
Okay. Well, all right. So really, you didn't have to do a whole lot more. You'd already been training up for it.
Yeah.
So, but was there anything like after that you're like, all right, this is one thing that we specifically need to train for PCC nationals?
Um, I think reloads were a big thing. I felt that I wasn't really doing very well with the reloads, so I was very big on the reloads. And then the swinging and the breaking down is always an issue with me. I always like to break down and bring in when in reality I should swing it.
Mm, okay. Now, for those people who don't shoot PCC, I know what you're saying because I saw
Yeah.
your actions, but explain to them what that means breaking down versus swinging.
So, breaking down is taking the buttstock off your shoulder and putting it behind your head a little bit, and then pushing onto the next target. So, and then swinging is just from one target, swinging to the next target.
Right. So with a pistol, it's the same thing as having your gun extended and then bringing it into your chest
Yes.
versus keeping it out and swinging
And
it.
swinging. Yes.
So yeah, when I saw what you were doing, I knew what you meant by what you were saying.
Yeah.
So when do you normally do your dry fire training? Is that a first thing in the morning, a last thing in the day?
It's the last thing in the day. In the mornings, I like to do my workout and then go on as my day, and then do the dry fire training.
Now, when you say do your workout,
Yes.
what type of workout do you do?
Um, my trainer, he sends me workouts, and he's very big on CrossFit, but I don't have the equipment to do CrossFit, so they're very CrossFit related.
And I asked that question. We'll get there a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I saw some stuff in your Instagram that made
Mm-hmm.
me think CrossFit and tactical games.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll save that because I want to get there, but we'll
Yeah.
get there in a minute. So, is PCC basically going to be your primary competition?
No. Carry optics will be my primary competition.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now, when all right, so this year it's a works out in your favor because PCC, I mean, I'm sorry, Carry Optics is early
Yep.
and PCC is like 2.5 months later.
Yeah.
So it gives you plenty of time to go from PCC to ramping up. I'm sorry, from Carry Optics to
Mm-hmm.
PCC.
Yeah.
Now, in a normal year, like say this year,
Mm-hmm.
2022, Carry Optics was September 8th through the 10th,
Mm-hmm.
and PCC was a month later.
Yes.
So, how would you? So you would shoot Carry Optics all year then until September?
Yes.
All right. And why the change from PCC to Carry Optics?
So just I love, I'm a pistol shooter. I love my pistol. I think that I do better with my pistol and I'm more accurate with my pistol. Um, and I feel more confident with it that I can do better. And this year, no, next year, with the carry out the stats, that's very big motivation. I really want to do really good. So
If you talk to a lot of people, you shouldn't talk about results. You don't want people being results oriented, but what to you is a you said you want to do really good. What does that mean?
I have, okay. In my head, I have a certain standard to which I should shoot at. So if I don't meet that standard, then I didn't do good. Granted, every match I do, I don't think I did good until um, about like a couple weeks later, and I'm like, oh well, it did come out as good. But as soon as the match is over with, I think I did terrible, and I think, well, there's all these things that I need to work on, and that's why it was terrible.
I totally understand where you're coming from. It
Mm-hmm.
almost sounds like you're a perfectionist. Like everything needs to be perfect.
Yes.
Okay. I cannot recommend more. Listen to Steve. Look, I've been through Steve Anderson's mental management class.
Yeah.
It's very good. If you ever get an opportunity to take it, take it.
Yeah.
But definitely listen to some of his mental management stuff because how you are and what he says, things to do
Yeah.
would work very well together. It might help you get to like that next step up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at some of your videos, it looks like the shooting part is going to be okay. Now it's getting this part
Yeah.
together.
That's
You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because I had the question down, where is Carry Optics in your future? That was one of the questions I had written down
Mm-hmm.
because I saw you shooting and you shoot carry optics quite well. You had a very interesting video where you were. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. This was, it says 21 weeks ago. I don't know. So that's about 4 to 5 months ago, roughly.
Mhm.
Now, I'm going to click play,
Yeah.
but this is what I'm talking about. That movement right there with a pistol.
Hmm.
That's something a lot of people have to practice a while to get. You were moving at a fairly good speed there.
Yeah.
So how much do you practice moving while shooting?
Um, I like to incorporate it for at least 15 minutes in dry fire. I think it's a necessary thing to do because, majority of the matches you should be moving and shooting, not just stop here, shoot, stop here, shoot. I think movement is a big, big part in what I do.
Now I wish there was a button where I could control the timeline on this
Yeah.
thing, but because that's a pretty wide transition you just did there too,
Hmm.
going from the target over here
Yeah.
to the. I mean, it's basically about a 120-degree
Yeah.
swing, and you did it pretty quick. So do you practice wide transitions in training as well?
Uh, yes, in live fire training, I try to do a lot of wide transitions. Um, moving and shooting, big thing. Wide transitions, not really a top priority, but it's definitely something to work on.
Your draw looked pretty spicy too. It looks like you've put in a lot of training time because you definitely do not look like, well, I would say 2 years. You're still a fairly new shooter,
Yeah.
but you look a little more polished than your normal 2 year new shooter. Okay,
Thank you. Yes.
this is what I was talking about. So this
Yes.
match right here, I assume this was with your 5.56 rifle.
Yes.
Top lady, third tack light.
Hmm.
I get all that. Now, this starts looking more like the tactical games.
Yes.
Was this similar to that?
It was very similar. It was two gun, but with some more weight to it and run with this and yep. Drag this, grab
So,
this.
for those of the people who only listen audio wise, she's
Mhm.
dragging a dummy with her right hand. Her rifle is in her left hand, and she's moving forward. Had you done anything like this before?
No.
So, how difficult was this for you when you did this?
That dummy weighed like 75 pounds and I wasn't really working out at the time, so I had little arms and trying to trying to get that thing across there was difficult for me, and I realized that like, oh, I gotta get stronger.
Well, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but you're still a small frame person.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but you've been working out specifically to be able to do stuff like this?
Yes, when the time comes, if I needed to do something like this, I want to be able to do it.
Do you see more of this in your future?
Um, Not as much as USPSA.
Okay. But it's not out of the realm of possibility, though.
No.
You've done a bunch of different stuff. Let me scroll through here real quick because there's another picture. I know what I'm looking for. Here we go, right here. That one right there.
Yes.
Combat carbine. Now that's not a PCC match either.
Well, with that match, it could have been PCC or 5.5. It just a rifle specific.
So the distances weren't so long that you couldn't use the PCC.
No, it wasn't that long. I think no, I didn't have my PCC at that time. But I used 5.5 for that. Yes.
Do you remember how far the targets were at this match?
Ooh, maybe 50 yards was the
Okay.
furthest.
Okay, so you definitely could have done it with a PCC then.
Yeah, I think so.
Everything was under 100 yards.
Yes.
Okay. So what are we looking at here?
It's a big one. It's a big
What
gun.
is that?
Oh,
A Barrett?
yes. I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a looks like a Barrett 50 cal.
hmm
And how did you enjoy shooting that?
That was not fun.
No?
I mean, it was fun. It was fun for the opportunity to shoot that, but shooting it was interesting. It really pushed me. It got me
Okay.
good.
So this is not in your future?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I have fired a Barrett 50 2,000 yards and engaged a target
Ooh.
with one of those.
Yeah.
I personally I do enjoy them.
hmm
They're just a little rich for me and they're not as accurate as I would like.
Yes.
See, I saw where you said the muzzle blast was what was worse for you.
Um, the muzzle blast was a lot to handle. I got cut up from the recoil and um, got cut up a little bit on my
What do you
elbows.
mean by on your elbows? Okay.
Yeah, I got cut up.
So you got some abrasions where you got pushed?
Yeah, yeah, I got some.
Okay. That's normal. Do you foresee in the future nothing but carry optics then?
um, Not necessarily. I think my priorities are set on carry optics, but if I had the option to shoot PCC, I would shoot it. These level one matches, I can shoot both, so I take the opportunity to shoot both.
I feel like is it easier for you to shoot the PCC right now?
Right now, yes, it's easier for me to shoot it. I've trained so much with it and gotten comfortable with it that it's pretty much my baby.
Okay. Well, I also feel like, as you strengthen your arms and your hands and all of that, the pistol shooting will become easier. But I feel like right now with your size and all of that,
Mhm.
that it's easier to control the PCC because you're using your shoulder
Mhm.
and more body. So that's why I was
Yes.
wondering if that's easier for you.
Yes. Yeah. Considering I can use my whole body with it and I can put a lot into it, it doesn't. It definitely I can run it faster than a pistol.
Yeah, give you a couple years and that would probably change.
Yes, I
So
hope so.
now, are you doing any specific workout just to make it yourself stronger for shooting pistol?
For pistol, no, not necessarily. Like I get the workouts and then I do the workouts. It's nothing specific. I think it's just for everything to get stronger altogether.
Do you do grip exercises
Yes,
in your workouts?
I do.
So, what are your USPSA goals?
My USPSA goals, my biggest one is to win nationals and then be world
Okay.
champion, hopefully. You know.
So you just jumped right into my next question.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, do you have a timeline or are you just like when it happens, it happens?
When it happens, but I'm very big on let's get it. Let's do it now.
Okay, good. I like that. So you're driven to do it.
Yes.
Now, do you want to, what division do you want to win nationals in?
Carry optics, I want to win carry optics nats first. And
Okay. You
then,
got some stiff competition out there, just saying.
yes, I know.
Yeah, yeah. And then PCC, you've got some stiff competition too.
Yes.
There's a lot of very good ladies out there right now shooting.
Yes.
And then there's who knows how many more Ashlyns are out there that we don't even know about.
I know. Yes.
So tell me more about wanting to be a world champion.
Well, I think starting this, I think I just wanted to be the person. I wanted to be the face. Like when someone brings up world champion, they think of who's been the world champion. Well, I want people to think of me when they think of world champion.
Wow, that's impressive. for such a young age. So, I mean, you live in a good spot
Mhm.
to be able to shoot those types of matches. Like the IPSC
Yes.
matches seem to be in the Florida area.
Yes.
Do
They're a
you see
little
your
down south. They're a little down south.
but they're still look, I live in Virginia, so they're
Yeah,
nowhere
yeah.
near local for me.
No, yeah.
But I mean, is that something you plan on shooting more of?
It's yes. I think so, yes. Definitely yes. This year, no, next year, um be traveling out of country for IPSC style matches.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So so where are you going to be going for these IPSC matches?
um One of them is in Brazil, and the other one is in Trinidad and Tobago.
What?
Yeah,
For real?
for real.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That is definitely out of the country.
Yes.
So you're not just doing Caribbean Open over in Puerto Rico, you're like leaving the continent.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So are you
Yeah.
excited for that?
Definitely. I'm super excited. It'll be something new, something to experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So you're going to international travel with guns and ammo and the whole 9 yards.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The reason I was asking is, you've got to get qualified if you want to be on the world team.
Yeah.
So there were people who just shot this last world shoot that weren't. There were individual slots that they
Hmm.
filled that weren't team slots. So
Yeah.
it sounds to me like you want to be on the world team. So that means you'd have to shoot more IPSC matches, get
Hmm.
qualified, shoot
Yeah.
nationals, all that. Okay.
Yeah.
So how long have you known that you're going to be traveling outside the U.S. for these matches?
Ooh, I've known for a couple months now. My trainer, he went there, I think, this year and then the last year. So I think he was kind of planning on bringing me along with him.
So is that who you're traveling with then?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Wow. That's exciting.
yeah.
So I guess you have that's a little bit harder of a time frame to come up with because it's only every 3 years. So
Mhm.
those are the questions I have for you, Ashlyn. Was there anything
Yeah.
you wanted to add or any sponsors you want to say thank you to or anything?
Um, Callaway Ballistics, big thank you. They're a big ammo sponsor, so
That's a
always
big thank
appreciative.
you. Yeah, that stuff's expensive.
Yes.
And big shout out to your IT guy, Dad.
Yes.
Yes, get you up
Yep.
and running.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ashlyn, thank you for coming on. It's been a wonderful conversation.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And I wish you the best this year.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Don't be a little bitch.
Yeah.